Hey guys, this is my official submission for JLS 2K subscriber contest. Jesse, thanks for offering the contest and all the awesome content you do. I'm privileged enough to live local to Jesse, get to talk to him a lot in the shop, so you do awesome stuff and we love you, brother. Look forward to seeing more. So you're probably asking yourself why I have all these books out here when Jesse's contest asked for a single story, and these books are not related as far as single story, but they all do have one thing in common, which you may have noticed. They all feature the Thing battling the Incredible Hulk. My favorite book is not up here yet. My favorite story does involve the Hulk and the Thing, and to many surprise, it is not this book, Fantastic Four number 12. That is the first time the two characters meet. Unfortunately, it is a very abbreviated meeting and ends simply with a sucker punch. Not much of a battle. When we want the Hulk and the Thing, we want battles. And when you want the best Hulk-Thing battle, there's really only one place to go. And that's where we enter my favorite book pretty much ever. The reason I collect comics in the Silver Age today. Probably the reason I still work in a comic book store. There's not a lot you can say about this book. That it does speak for itself. It is 22 pages of the Hulk and Thing beating the crap out of each other. And the best part is it doesn't stop there, because it continues into Fantastic Four 26, where the Avengers join the fray. For the life of me, I cannot find my copy right now. I have it somewhere. But I digress. I threw this together very last minute. I told Jesse I would do something. I apologize in advance. I'm losing my voice. I do not have a proper setup to do video or effects or sound. So I got Dream Theater playing in the background. That's going to count for something. And I turned my bed into a table long enough to do this video at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever time it is. At the start of this story, Reed is set on trying to cure Ben Grimm of being the Thing. He's been experimenting with multiple unknown sources of material from their space adventures. You gotta remember, the team is very young at this point. The Marvel Universe is very young at this point. The Hulk was recently in the Avengers, comic book wise, in the first 2 issues. In the 3rd issue, Submariner convinced him that they were out to get him. He teamed up with the Submariner and left the team, and the Avengers have been looking for him since. At the same time, he's looking for the Avengers to get revenge on them, and that's where this issue starts. But we see Reed trying to cure Ben. Ben doesn't want to be cured unless Reed can come up with a way where he can voluntarily change back and forth between the Thing and himself, which Reed cannot do. Reed can track some kind of unknown space virus from the materials he was working on, and as the story opens, he's laid up very quickly with a fever in bed, not able to do much. Flash forward a little bit to Johnny Storm returning to the Fantastic Four's building, and he happens upon the Hulk just smashing a building randomly and decides to intervene. Well, that doesn't go very well for Johnny, and he ends up unconscious and eventually in the hospital. Reed and Sue see this on TV. Ben and Sue leave Reed reluctantly to go try and deal with the situation. Sue holds her own for a while, trying to prevent the Hulk, who still has Johnny unconscious at this point, from doing any further damage to him. But overexerts herself using her force fields, passes out. Johnny goes to the hospital, Sue goes to the hospital, and you're left with the Thing to take on the Hulk. And that's where the fun starts, because it is one page after another. This book here is a trade paperback everybody should own, which collects these stories, as well as Fantastic Four 112, Journey into Mystery 112, which is one of the best Hulk versus Thor fights, multiple other Hulk battle issues, Tales to Astonish 93, where he fights the Silver Surfer. Anyway, not relevant to this, but get the idea. This is Jack Kirby in his prime. Sometimes the Thing uses his wits. Sometimes he gets caught up with the Hulk's strength. Reed's trying to come to help, but no avail. He can't do it. Every time the Thing thinks he has the upper hand, Hulk gets stronger, Hulk gets angrier, and by the end of the first issue, the Thing realizes for the first time in his short career that he has lost a fight. He doesn't like that. Enter the Avengers. Now, here's the cover of 26, which is the second part of the story. More Hulk Thing fighting. It continues on. Even though he's been beat down, he keeps coming back for more. The Torch finally gets awake enough to come back into the fray. Not going to do a whole lot of good. Coming up, you'll see the Avengers haven't been together that long either. Team-ups haven't happened for the most part. This is a very early crossover as far as Marvel characters go. So the Avengers and the FF are getting in each other's way at first. They're not used to interacting together, hardly with each other, let alone with two different teams. But eventually they start to gain some ground. The Wasp gets in the Hulk's ear and messes up his equilibrium. They get some licks in. Hulk and Thing go at it some more. Thor gets involved. People get thrown around. Hulk's good at that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not the Avengers or the Fantastic Four that stop the Hulk. It's his buddy Rick Jones, who has an out that at this point Bob Banner, not David or Bruce, but Bob has equipped Rick Jones with a pill that he can give the Hulk that will turn him back to his human form. And that is how we get the resolution of this battle. There will be many more in the future. And there's the cover of the Journey into Mystery 112 I spoke of earlier. But anyway, that's my favorite story. Those are the reasons why. Embellishing the story a little bit further, I bought my first copy of this book in 1990. I was a part-time employee of Phil's comic shop at the time. I bought comic books as a reader. I collected them in the sense that I had consecutive issues. I bagged and boarded them. I put them away in boxes, but I didn't buy books for investment per se. And I happened to be in the store one day when Phil bought a collection, and I saw the cover of this book, and I was enthralled with it. It was $125 for a very fine copy, and I asked Phil if I could pay it off. He said I could. 3 weeks later, I took it home and read it. Been buying Silver Age ever since. So that is my story of my favorite story. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you will seek it out, check it out if you want to find this trade paperback I was mentioning. I don't know why they chose this for the cover of all the things they could have, but it is called Hulk versus the Marvel Universe. It's out of print, but you can find it on eBay pretty cheap. And you can find a used copy for $10, and it's worth every single penny of it. I highly recommend you do it. The second part of Jesse's contest was to shout out to 2 YouTube channels. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I have very little time for YouTube, so I'm going to cheat. The only other 2 channels I've ever watched are Boston Chris Comics, who is also part of the JLS Thursday show, and Justin's Exile State Comics. So you probably know about them already. Like I said, this isn't really an official entry. Jesse, I don't need to be in the prize pool. In fact, you know what? I'm going to add to the prize pool. You can decide if you want to do this as a 4th prize or include it with something else, but I have 2 copies of this giant size Fantastic Four. It's called Giant Size Superstars. It's really Giant Size Fantastic Four #1. It is a great Hulk versus Thing battle, and I'm going to give a copy to Jesse to pass along to somebody else who can enjoy it. So, thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing what you guys like.